Soviet disk detected. To play the Allied missions, please insert the Allied disk.
Hello everyone, I'm a Broken Robot. When it comes to video games based on post-nuclear settings, there's a wide variety to choose from. Some people prefer Metro for its gritty realism and story, while others may prefer games like Fallout for its dynamic and retro-futuristic setting. When it comes to post-nuclear gaming, many studios have tackled the subject, sometimes with creating a realistic experience that might lean into heavily real-world scenarios like nuclear bunkers, radiation poisoning, and cannibalism, while some studios forego realism in the name of creating a fun and inspiring gameplay loop, with things like creating post-apocalyptic groups and taking a dog out into the wasteland to become a one-man army. Well, my dear viewer, what if I told you that there was a post-nuclear game that blended the line between fun gameplay and realistic mechanics and setting? Sheltered, released all the way back in March of 2016 by Unicube Studios, is a game I recently discovered that I fell in love with immediately. As a personal fan of games like Fallout and Rust, Sheltered's gameplay being based around the construction and defense of a bomb shelter in a post-apocalyptic environment with raiders, random encounters, and traders alike makes a great gaming experience that both casual and hardcore gamers can enjoy. Sheltered is a pixelated survival game where you as the player take control of a family of 4 alongside a pet as you navigate the reality and challenges of a post-apocalyptic world. When you start the game, you can choose between a survival scenario where you inhabit a bunker on a randomly generated map, or special scenarios where you and a child must defend a large stockpile of goods, or you wake up much later after the apocalypse so there's far less resources and far more dangerous enemies. In my own personal experience, I enjoy the basic survival scenario, but there are options for players looking for a variety. Whenever you start out a new game, you can customize and create your own family, including perks and simplified skill trees that include things like strength, perception, and intelligence, which all factor into gameplay. Each player starts out with a positive perk of the player's choosing and a random negative perk. Pickable perks range from as simple as characters being able to sleep less, to as complicated as being able to deconstruct items faster. When you customize your family, it's good to either have a balanced skill set with each member having strengths and weaknesses, or creating a set of well-rounded characters that are jacks of all traits but not especially good at one particular thing. An important part of family creation is choosing your pet. Pets include a horse that allows characters to travel faster outside the bunker but requires constant feeding, cats that can eat rats that enter your bunker but won't assist your family in defending the bunker, snakes that will eat rats more consistently but has a small chance of biting family members, and the fan favorite dog that can not eat rats but can assist family members while traveling outside the bunker and will assist the family in defending the bunker from raids. When it comes to the story of Sheltered, outside the specific preset scenarios, the story is really what you as the player make of it. Days after a brutal nuclear war that sent humanity back to the Dark Ages, a family of 4 uncovers an old Cold War-era bomb shelter that won't give Vault-Tec a run for their money, but it sure does beat living on the surface. As you and your family upgrade and establish your place in the wasteland, random encounters will progress a truly one-of-a-kind story, with no 2 gameplays being truly alike. Sometimes encounters will be as simple as running into a trader while out scavenging, or someone coming by the bunker to offer their labor in exchange for joining your team, to as intense as defending your bunker from violent cannibals, to having to complete linear quests for people you encounter out in the wasteland. While some might discount Sheltered for not having an actual concrete plot or linear story, I personally think that the openness of Sheltered's plot helps players use their imagination to flesh out the world around them. Because each Sheltered map is randomly generated, you could end up in a forest near a big city or isolated in the mountains, adding thrilling challenges and strategy to every aspect of interaction with other in-game characters. Back inside your bunker, it will be a constant uphill battle to maintain your bunker's integrity and quality of life for its inhabitants. The bunker comes with a workbench that will allow you to not only expand the shelter itself, but also build key supplies like water tanks, beds, and makeshift showers and bathrooms. Each character has a hydration, food, energy, bathroom, and hygiene stat that are important to constantly monitor. When players are hungry and they're above ground, they can't travel as fast. When players are dirty, it takes them longer to sleep. And when players are tired, it can take much longer to build, repair, and upgrade your bunker's features and defenses. Speaking of upgrades, as you send people out to scavenge the wasteland and trade with passing locals, you'll acquire raw materials that are vital for upgrading your generator, air filter, and water filter. No matter what difficulty you choose to play on, you'll need to constantly be upgrading your bunker's systems. Water filters can be upgraded to better filter out radiation. Air filters can be upgraded to allow more people to live inside your bunker. And your generator will need to be upgraded to become both fuel efficient and hold more fuel in general. Each piece of equipment can be upgraded to break down slower and be more efficient, which is mandatory as the game progresses. When most players start out a playthrough, they'll be given a random array of materials, and while in the first few days or maybe even weeks you'll be able to rapidly upgrade your shelter, as locations have been looted and traders become less common, even basic upgrades will take tactical planning to complete as the wasteland becomes more hostile with time. When acquiring resources, there are 3 main ways to do so. By broadcasting on your bunker radio to have traders visit, which can yield randomized loot ranging from basic materials to advanced weapons and medical supplies, or by breaking down waste materials and junk you scavenge from the wasteland, or by scavenging the wasteland itself. When you first start a playthrough, you'll have a small stockpile of gas masks and anti-radiation tablets that will allow your characters to quickly scavenge the area immediately surrounding your bunker. But as areas are cleared out and water supplies, which is vital for long-term exploration above ground, dries up, each adventure above ground will be a major debate over the risk and rewards. Sometimes characters above ground will encounter raiders and wild animals, and if you're not careful and don't play your cards right, it's easy to lose a family member or bunker recruit fast. Locations vary but are pretty straightforward. Gas stations usually have fuel to be looted, pharmacies have medical supplies, and schools can have recyclable materials that can be scrapped for resources needed to upgrade your bunker. While it's optional, it's usually best to give your characters some kind of weapon and a gas mask when you send them out into the wasteland. What makes Sheltered such a captivating title despite its indie studio origins is its realism. Sometimes things like rain, traders, and friendly wastelanders will be hard to come by, which can make portions of your playthrough more difficult than others. Random encounters like bunker raids, radioactive rain, and food poisoning can throw a curveball into your gameplay strategy, which can force you to take longer to upgrade parts of your bunker or sending people out into the wasteland. With how stressful the day-to-day survival can be on your bunker's inhabitants, it's mandatory to provide things like toys for child characters to play with, books and music for adults to enjoy, and plenty of food and water to keep everyone happy and healthy. In the late stages of the game, players have the ability to upgrade an old RV that allows you to take up to 4 of your bunker's inhabitants to venture out into the wasteland at 3 times the pace of walking on foot or traveling by horse. The RV is difficult to obtain due to needing many parts that can be hard to find, but if you made it to day 75, the RV will become a key part of traveling across the wasteland in groups. While factions and quests aren't a major part of Sheltered's gameplay loop, it can spice up the monotony of the late stages of the game. Sometimes, while above ground, you'll encounter large gangs that are difficult to take on in combat, or other times you'll encounter locations that are under control by friendly or hostile groups, ranging from remnants of the army to bloodthirsty bikers. These encounters are always random, but depending on your difficulty and strategy, one wrong move can turn a solid run into a lost cause. In later stages of the game, it's important to recruit friendly wastelanders that can act as cannon fodder and important allies when defending and maintaining your bunker. In the late game, it's mandatory to establish bunker defenses like reinforced doors, tripwire traps, and well-armed bunker residents to prevent the local hostile population from turning your friends and family into iguana on a stick. In my own playthroughs, where I only play in the normal difficulty, I've quickly devolved from having a fully stocked food pantry and water supply to forcing my bunker inhabitants to go days without water and sadly have to survive off the remains of their deceased family members. Other times, my unwillingness to trust wastelanders has costed me lives and valuable bunker members, or other times being too trusting has led overpowered raiders straight to my bunker's location. Whether you're trading metal pipes for food rations or trying to rob a trader for their goods, what you do outside the bunker directly affects the people and status of your bunker, so careful planning and tactical thinking is needed to make it long into your Sheltered run. Sheltered is truly a hidden gem that any survival strategy lover must add to their gaming library. Its simplistic but realistic setting and gameplay mechanics make Sheltered both challenging and rewarding for players. The game's randomly generated maps and resources make each playthrough truly unique, with some being far more challenging than others, which adds to the game's charm and dynamic setting. I highly recommend anyone in the audience that's even mildly curious to check out Sheltered today, which is mostly flown below the radar in most gaming circles. Its cheap $15 price tag makes it the perfect indie game to play as both a time killer and a hardcore playthrough, based on its rich and bedrock deep gameplay and features. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching. I'm curious if any of you guys have played Sheltered before, or if you know any other lesser known survival strategy games that are similar to Sheltered. I'd be more than happy to discuss it in the comments down below. But more than anything, I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you in my audience today. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like button. Not only does it let me know that you guys want more content, but it helps me out personally in the YouTube algorithm, so hey, thanks a bunch. Feel free to subscribe and join the Robot Factory today. We cover all sorts of topics on the Broken Robot Show, ranging from video games to philosophy to basic pop culture rants. So there's always something for everyone here on the show. I hope you all have a good day, do not drink contaminated water, and stay cool.